Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Thursday night edition of Aquaholics Anonymous. I appreciate you all being here. Of course, Chattanooga Ed, my buddy, my co-host, my friend, thanks for being here.
Love being here.
Let me do this. There we go. Now I don't hear myself delayed by 15 seconds again. All right, got that fixed. Perfect. All sorts of awesome people here. Yeah, I am assuming that is the hashtag from KG Tropicals that I see coming in. Thank you, John and Lisa, for that, and everybody that rolled on over. I do really, really appreciate it. I thought about a couple of different topics for tonight, and I didn't really have anything that was jaw-dropping, awe-inspiring, amazing content. Somebody saying, happy birthday, Sandy. Sandy, happy birthday to you. Maybe we'll get Ed to sing to you.
Sandy Doherty?
Possibly. I just saw happy birthday Sandy in with all the hashtags, and I'm going to grab this real quick before it disappears because there are a lot of awesome people coming up with that hashtag. Tim Carter with the $1 super sticker fertilizing the stream. Tim, I appreciate that. My buddy, my friend. That was lame. That was nothing wants to work today. I'm going to let you folks know. Before the stream, I was running all over the place trying to find a battery for my mouse because we kind of need to be able to scroll through the chat with that. There we go. Thank you, Tim. I appreciate you, buddy. Good to see you.
Heard the noise, didn't see it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of half and half. But, and then, of course, mouse starts working, camera stops working. I'm not working. My voice is not working, but we're going to make it work. So thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. The great news is that opens us up for more questions from you all. Fishy related or otherwise. I had a really fun stream last week with Science Gal Aquatics. We didn't even really talk about fish so much. We just kind of talked about life in general and life as fish keepers. And it was really fun. And life as fish tubers. So that was fun. Sure, open to any questions. We'd love to try and help you if you can, if you've got a fishy related problem. Otherwise, we're just kind of here to hang out with you tonight. It always makes my day to get to talk to you all. So even right before the stream, I'm not feeling well. I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to put on a show, so to speak. Get in here, and as soon as that live button hits, just kind of gets me rolling. So I appreciate that. I really, really do, everybody.
I saw that stream with Carrie, Science Gal, and you guys did a great job. And I felt the same way when I did my stream with her.
Yeah.
And Jesse, I think we talked about everything but fish.
Yeah.
It's just a good time. You guys got to go check out Science Gal.
Absolutely. So Jesse Nordholtz. Oh, awesome. There you go. Jesse Nordholtz says, question, how big should my guppy fry be before adding them back to the main tank? As a generalization, just big enough that they won't get eaten easily. That can vary depending upon how big the parents are. If you've got, juvenile parents, small parents, you can put them back in a little bit smaller and they'll be safe. If you've got, a really strong Moscow line and it's got 2.5-inch females to it, you'll want them a little bit bigger. But yeah, it kind of varies. There's no great answer to that. I usually look more at the girth of them than the length so much, because even if they're a little bit longer, if they're really, really thin, they can kind of still get slurped down like a spaghetti noodle by the parents. So let them get a little bit of a belly and kind of form out versus being a straight line, and generally you'll be okay.
On one of my very first videos I ever made, I was doing an unboxing of some of my guppies, and the guy that I bought them from put a couple of fry in with them. And you can see in the video, the female is trying to eat one of the guppy fry, but it's a little too big to fit down her throat. So it's maybe a 1/4 inch, but it's funny because it was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I have this on video. And the little one's going, you got it out.
I remember that video. Y'all should go check that out at some point. Go check out Chattanooga Ed if you haven't. He's got an awesome channel. Of course, he's an awesome guy. He's here hanging out with me. He's my buddy. And he doesn't, I don't feel that he gets the recognition that I think he deserves personally. So be sure and check his channel out. And nothing else, we're going over there next after this stream, and he's going to be doing a giveaway when we get there. We had a question, Lighting Player says, do y'all own coral? So I do not currently. I used to be big into saltwater about 10 or 12 years ago, but I don't have anything set up now. I do have plans to set up a small a nano reef tank, mostly going to be zoanthids. That's one of the things that I miss when I think about my saltwater tanks. I miss having the zoanthids and the paleoboas, but I don't currently have any.
I use crushed coral to raise my pH in my water to make it a little harder for my guppies. So I kind of have coral. Right.
Right. I don't know if we'll count it, but hey, it's worth a shot.
The tank keeps the fish healthy.
Hey, Fergo's Aquatics, good to see you, my friend. I do want to say, if you put at Fish Room Fever, of course, it will highlight for me in the chat. That makes it a lot more likely for me to catch it, but I'm going to try and catch everything. I know I'm already starting to get a little bit behind, but we'll get caught up. Flymoto says, I'm in jail and get out on Sunday. I want to pick up a tank mate for my blood parrot. Any ideas? Tank mate for the blood parrot. I would say another blood parrot. If you've just got one in there, that would be my recommendation.
Pegasus' sister Rena asked me to show her what she sent me. Rena, I already talked to James a little bit about it. We're going to talk more about it on my show, but we'll give a sneak peek. Rena from Pegasus. Pegasus. No,
Pegasus sister Rena.
Yep. Pegasus' sister Rena. From her show, I was a guest on her show this week, and she made me some awesome stuff. And this is one thing, and it's
nice,
so good. And we're going to talk more about that in my stream. But I'm going to show it to you just in case she goes to bed, so she knows that we did do something.
There you go.
Oh my god!
Very nice.
Cupcakes, but it's green and it's awesome.
We got Xanadu with the $5 super chat. Hey, buddy, how are you? Thank you for that. I appreciate it. I hope those fish are still doing really well for you. Says, hope you're feeling better, James. Hashtag BRB from KG. I appreciate that, Xanadu. Always good to see you. And one of the things about Thursdays, as much as I love streaming on Thursdays after John and Lisa, I end up missing the end of their show every week for the most part. So I usually go back the very next day and I catch the end of it and get to try and get caught up and enjoy it. But it does throw off my routine.
I find that's been more and more my lifestyle is I'm missing more of the live streams and catching them the day after. So
yeah, absolutely.
It's a bummer. But
there we go. Rico Stan says, I just drank my second energy drink today so I could stay awake and watch the shows. If I die, it's your fault, Fish Room Fever. Please don't, Rico. That would be a tragedy to lose you just to watch my show. So, but I appreciate that, and it's good to see you.
But it's worth it.
There we go. I don't know if I did a party popper for Xanadu. So there we go. There's one. I appreciate you, Xanadu. Lots of awesome people in here. Pegasus Rena says, yay, first stream as a member. I'm so excited I could finally afford to hit the join button, James. Rena, I do appreciate that. I really do. I know you've been hanging out with us and supporting the channel, watching us and interacting, and you had me on your channel a while ago. I appreciate that. I hope you are enjoying it. Lightning Players asking, do we own saltwater tank? So the only salt tank I have currently just has a cleanup crew in it. It had an eel in there. I don't have the eel anymore. But it's 110 gallons, and that's where I'm going to take some of the rock from that and do the nano reef tank. Mike's Aquatics and Things also dropping $1 super sticker on the stream, fertilizing it with that little pile. I don't know. I think I got a bad batch here. Try this one. That was a little bit better. But thank you, Mike. I appreciate you, brother. Good to see you. I hope you're doing great. And thank you for the fertilizer. Lefty3213 Ace is making this spreadsheet now. Fish Room Fever, just FYI, he's going to be talking about the judging for Catfishmas there. Looking forward to seeing those entries, and I appreciate everybody that participated in that contest. And I'm sure we will do another one here in a couple months, as we have been doing basically all of 2020 and now rolling into 2021. Gina French, good to see you. Says get those likes up. I appreciate it. I appreciate the watch. Fantastic Freaks, buddy, how are you? Says, and this is a $5 super chat, by the way. Let me not forget to say that. Thank you, Fantastic. While I'm on time, 2021 is already shaping up to be a great year. Good to see you're feeling better, James. Got some Exodons, by the way. That is awesome. I really can't wait to get the Exodons behind me here so you all can see those more and catch those every week on the streams. They are awesome. Yes, they really are awesome. I can't say thanks enough to Lucas Brett, which is where I got my Exodons from. And just the fact that he thought of me and was like, hey, I know you're a Piranha guy. You want these Exodons? I'm like, yes, I love them.
The best part of it was watching him catch them.
Yeah, that was fun. But I hope you enjoy them, buddy. I really do. I think you will. That's why I recommend them. And thank you for the super chat, my friend. Rescue Dog Treat says, hey, I placed an order last Friday. No shipping notification yet. If you are who I think you are, I'll double check. But I shipped out earlier this week, and I'm surprised you don't have it yet because I ship everything on Monday or Tuesday, depending upon when it comes in. Tuesday being usually the last. Well, so if it's not livestock, I'll ship it pretty much any day of the week. But I kind of got in the habit of Mondays and Tuesdays when I had the livestock up. Now that that's pulled down, shipping's kind of changed. But I know I shipped out several packages. I'll get in my emails and I'll get on the website and I'll double check and find out what's going on. I know I had an issue a week and a half ago where the website was not updating, and so it still shows pending, even though I fulfilled it. They've received it and they're using that product. But I'll double check, and if nothing else, I have an email link to that, and so I'll just go ahead and send out tracking information on the emails. And thank you for the order. I appreciate that. I think I know who you are. Lightning player, we already answered that. What's going on, Paul Sotero?
Jethro's is here. It's great to see Jethro's back in action.
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. Who do I trust shipping fish? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Boy. Well, I got some fish today, and they came in great. I got them from Redfish Bluefish. And I'll be talking about that in the next show. But they came in amazing. I mean, they're swimming around and eating right now. So
definitely. I would definitely put Jason from Redfish Bluefish on there. Of course, you've got people like Dance Fish, KG Tropicals. But yeah, I trust them shipping fish. Quite a few people. And there are a lot of people, I don't want to say smaller people, so to speak. Yeah, well, I do too when it's time for shipping. Right now is not time for shipping. I haven't really tested the waters with the Postal Service to see if they're getting back on track, but I know that beginning of December it was absolutely horrible, and they were running really behind. Holiday season plus the health issues. I get it, but
I think they're still slow because I'm still getting people saying they're just getting my stickers now, and I sent them Christmas cards. A couple weeks ago. And then like today I was supposed to go to a doctor's appointment. I never got the directions in the mail, and they told me I would. Huh. So I think it's still kind of slow. Hey, Heavy.
Yeah. There are a lot of good people in the hobby that I trust. I've gotten fish from quite a few people that frequent in here. HC Aqua ships them all the way out from Hawaii. Jesse, I trust his shipping. I would say wherever you go, just kind of try and look for reviews. So like there are a lot of people on the Get Gills website, just kind of, look for one that's doing good things, so to speak. But I think for the most part, we all try our best on shipping. None of us want fish to die. So we all do everything we can to try and facilitate them getting there happy and healthy.
Mississippi Hippie sent me some fish at the beginning of December, and they all came to me healthy, and I was amazed. I mean, she did it. It was so professional.
Mm-hmm.
She was amazing. She's on Get Gills. Oh, I'm trying to remember what her fish. I know it's Mississippi Fishy Hippie or something like that.
Oh yeah. And then you've also got Our Fish Collective. I would be remiss if I didn't mention Our Fish Collective. Because they kind of try to standardize shipping, even though it's different individual sellers. They like to have most people on there do kind of a test shipment to them, and say, okay, hey, this is what we like, this is what we don't. This works, this doesn't. And kind of make it a universal standard for that. Rebecca Jackson says, "What plants do you suggest for beginners?" So, depending upon what you're looking for, in terms of floaters or rooted or rhizomes, anything from guppy grass to java moss, water wisteria, anubias, of course, anubias nana. You can really do any of those as a beginner, and so many more. But those are just a few that I really have good luck with. Pogostemon stellatus octopus, or the octopus plant. That's another great one. Pretty easy to handle and take care of. Jungle
Madagascar
fowl.
fern.
Yeah.
Madagascar or lace, rather. Madagascar lace.
Mhm.
It looks super hard, but it's super easy. Just the bulb, only go halfway with the bulb.
Yep.
So it will get huge and gigantic, and it's a beginner plant. You wouldn't think it, but it's a great one to start off with too.
Amy's saying today would have been Nathan and Aquaholics' birthday. Yeah, asking if we'd say a little happy birthday. Absolutely. I miss Nathan. He was a good guy. Happy birthday to him. That was a tragedy, and it still bothers me. And I know it's been hard for you, Amy, but I'm glad that you've become a bigger part of our community since then, and we're glad to have you. And I appreciate you being here. How long after an ick outbreak to add new fish again? I usually give it a couple weeks just to be safe, personally. Myself, and that was from Laws 294. I usually wait about 2 weeks minimum just to make sure nothing else springs up. Make sure you don't get any secondary infections on those fish coming from the cyst locations where that ick was, and that the ick doesn't pop back up in there.
My fish store guy, Rob from Aquatic Aesthetics, said that FedEx is good. Maybe did they mean what's the best handlers for shipping fish, or people that sell fish?
I just went in terms of when I hear who, I don't know. I went straight to like people selling fish.
Yeah,
in terms of shipping them, it's going to vary. Now I use USPS. So I've heard horrible things and I've heard wonderful things about everybody. A lot of it depends upon where you're located at. Some areas, I've heard great things about FedEx. Other areas, worst you could possibly use. The same with USPS. Generally, you hear pretty good things, and then there are certain areas or distribution centers that it seems like nothing ever goes right when fish go through those. So really it varies, and it also depends upon exactly what you're shipping, the frequency of what you're shipping. Do you just need to ship some one time overnight? Do you need to ship them out on a weekly basis, overnight or priority? Again, right now, shipping live fish, really the only way I recommend would be overnight, depending upon location. So a lot of places it's getting really cold. And with things being really slow, so I've had some packages taking 2 weeks that don't have fish in them just to get to people, and that's via USPS. Even with a 96-hour heat pack, if it's going somewhere cold, if it's going to sit for 7, 8, 10, 14 days, that's not going to be good. Besides the fact of the fish being in the bag that long, which I've found that they can handle surprisingly better than you would think. But I digress a little bit there.
Yeah, so much of it, I think, depends on the individual guy that's touching the box.
It really does.
It's like that. When I worked in the auto industry. You got 99.9% of everybody's trying their hardest to make a good car. And you might have one schmuck, and that's the one car that gets out and gives everybody the bad reputation. And it's the same way as you get the one idiot that likes to throw the boxes.
Yep.
Or sit on them or something.
Absolutely.
So, humans, they stink.
They do. Edgar Reyes says, it's been a month since I cleaned my filter because I changed the substrate sand to gravel because there was a lot of sand in the filter. Should I filter box and the tubes? He says, should I clean the filter box and the tubes? So I only clean out the actual box of the filter and the tubing when it starts to get a buildup or backed up or clogged in any type of way. Otherwise, I just let that beneficial bacteria just grow all over that sucker. Let's see. Asked and answered there. Have I ever tried drinking my aquarium water? Not intentionally. I've gotten a mouthful on a siphon hose once or twice or a dozen times before. Let me see.
Drink the cup with duckweed in it.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, there's a lot of questions that are getting thrown up there multiple times. I'm just trying to filter through. Getting down here, getting caught up. There's rescue dog treats. And again, I'll double check on that. There we go. Eric LaBelle says, question, 20-gallon extra high aquarium, 20 by 10 by 24. How do you stock this weirdness? So I'm going to treat that like a nano tank. Personally, when I'm stocking that, I'm going to be thinking small fish or shrimp because you've got a lot of height, but you really don't have a lot of back and forth room in there. So I'm going to be thinking nano. And then probably stocking with some really nice tall plants, thinking more in terms of what we would consider background plants. I mean, you could still do, the whole escaping thing, background, foreground plants, but you don't have a lot of room. So I'm almost going to escape it more jungle themed, if you will, where it's a bunch of taller plants throughout the whole thing versus high in the back and low in the front. Again, pogo comes to mind. That's one that can get nice and long and tall for you. Of course, jungle val is a great one. So something like that, I might do a little portion of it. It's got jungle val and it's got a little forest of that there, and then have some open area to come out and maybe stick an Anubias off to one side, a Nana or something like that. Usually that's how I'm thinking about it, is stock it with nano fish, because even though you've got 20 gallons, you really don't have a lot of room front to back, side to side, so to speak. So here, Flamoda says, what about other American cichlids with the blood parrot, convict, Jack Dempsey, firemouth, etc.? You could do convicts. Those are mean little boogers in my experience. Of course, everybody's fish keeping can vary, but I've yet to meet a friendly convict cichlid. Jack Dempsey, that was a 72-gallon, I think you said you had. You could do that, yeah. And those are beautiful fish. They really are. That's one of Mrs. Fever's favorites that we've got in the house right now, is the Jack Dempsey's. So, yeah, I think that's a good one. I like that. And I think you'd enjoy them, too. They tend to get some really cool personality. Bob Kaler's Aquatics, he's got some Jack Dempsey's. He's got some videos over there of them making babies, and they've got some really great personality to them. So, yeah, I like that. I do. Aldrich Aquatic says, how many aquarium filters do you think is overkill in a 36-gallon tank? I have 4, 2 sponge filters, 1 canister, and 1 old hang-on back. On a 36-gallon, I don't necessarily think that's overkill per se. I'm going to say I don't know the exact flow on the canister and the hang-on back. It could be then when I say lower end, I don't mean like cheap and junky, but it could be lower on the spectrum of flow on the canister. I've seen some canisters that don't do a whole lot of flow, and then you've got some that just crank that water out. And the same with hang-on backs. So I would say the biggest thing would just be to make sure that you're not putting too much flow on the fish without giving them some places to rest. So a lot of my tanks, some people might think there's too much flow in them, but I always make sure there are resting spots for the fish. So like these piranha, they've got 2 on top of the filtration, on top of the sponges and the big hang-on back. It's an AquaClear 110. They have got 2 power heads in there, and each one of them is, I think, right at 1,200 gallons. And this is in 120 gallon. But they've got lots of breaking points in the water where that gets broken up. And then they have some areas of direct current, and they spend most of the time, like they are now, shoaled up together, swimming headfirst into that current, kind of getting a workout, if you will. And then when they don't want to do that, they go and they get out of the current and they rest and relax. And that's what I find best. A lot of fish really enjoy flow if you give it to them, but you want to make sure they have the option to get away from that flow and get some rest when they need it. Flymoto, no, I do not think you can give your fish the sickness. Interesting question, though. Gina French says, so wonderful to finally catch you live. So wonderful to see you, Gina. I hope you're doing great. Always a pleasure talking to you. I always have fun interacting with you.
I have a rock for her.
Right?
Going out very soon.
The floating rock.
Yep. You know what? Can we go back to the filters?
Yeah, absolutely.
I just wanted to say one thing real quick. I would consider getting rid of some of the filters and putting a nice light that'll grow plants on that tank and grow some plants, because they do a world of wonder when it comes to cleaning your water and making your fish happy and healthy.
Absolutely.
And I mean, I have gone away from so many filters, it's unbelievable, just because I can go in heavy plants. And I love it. I mean, my fish are healthier. I just love it. And Lucas Bretz does it, and he does it with no filtration. And that's what gives me the courage to do it. I've got about 8 tanks now that I don't have filtration in. And I always look at them like, are they ready to die? And they're still doing good. So, yeah, I would say maybe try something different. Save some electric.
Absolutely. I like that. That's good thinking, buddy. That's why we have you here, to pick up the slack when I don't think of things. Fresh Aquatics says, Fish Room Fever or Ed, any recommendations for aquarium fish stocking? The tank is a 7.4 gallon. It's rimless and has a built-in filter box, and it's planted. I have to put my Danios because I say discus. I guess, I don't know. It cut off the rest of that question there. Let's see if I can find it. But Ed, I'm going to throw that one to you.
Yeah, I've been living this nightmare. I got a round tank. James and Bob and I all put a raffle in on it. And Bob won it, and then he gave it to me, which was super nice of him. And it's a beautiful tank. It's round, rimless, no top. And I would say almost everything I put in it jumps out. So the lipless, rimless type tanks, I have not been too successful with. I know I've got some CPDs in there that have been in there from day one, and I've got some shrimp that don't jump out. But I've got a list of fish that have. So what do you think, James?
Normally I don't give a specific answer, but I'm going to give one. Of course, get something you like. If you like the looks of them, I'm going to say do some Ember Tetras and some blue Neocardinas. I'm picturing that in my head. And 7.4 gallon rimless. I think that it's already planted. I think that has the potential to look really good to me personally. And again, you may hate blue shrimp and Ember Tetras and go, that's horrible. That's the hobby. But of course, the typical would be find something you like. That's what I'm seeing when I think of that tank, if it were me setting it up. Furloughs Aquatics, which is probably already long gone to bed because I'm having to weed through some of the extra spammage tonight, which is fine. We deal with it, but I will get caught up. Throwing the $5 super chat, and he's got an awesome new logo. I don't know how new it is. He's probably had it for like 2 or 3 weeks, and I'm just now noticing it. But it says, showing some love and going night-night, LOL. Well, Eric, Furloughs Aquatics, I appreciate you, brother. I hope you have a great night. Always good to see you. Enjoy what you got going on over on that channel. And I hope you get some rest. And don't let them work you too hard tomorrow, my friend. John Cox got a great answer there in response to Aldrich. I couldn't agree more. I'm going to try and pronounce this, and I'm going to mess it up. S. Shrestha says, can male betta be kept with German blue ram, a 30-gallon long lowboy? Current stock is 16 nanotetras, 6 rasboras, 9 cories, and some snails. Your thoughts, please. If you've already got all of that in there, excluding the betta, I would probably not add the male betta. You could try it. You could try it and see the temperament. I'm just thinking, and especially with being a low boy, 30-gallon long low boy. You could try it. It could work. And that's usually what I'll go with. So I would have a backup plan first of all before you put them together. I'm assuming you probably do, since you're considering it before just doing it, which is great. But try it and see. I've done that with a lot of things. It's like, well, typically you can't do this or you can't do that, or we don't recommend it anyways, at least to people new to the hobby. But the more time you get under your belt and the more experience, you tend to learn behaviors and mannerisms of your fish, and it kind of allows you to do more things than what we encourage people that are brand new to the hobby to do. So if I had to guess, I'm going to say the German blue is probably going to pick a fight with that male betta, just because I've seen some aggressive German blues, also some aggressive male bettas. So I would keep a close eye and just make sure. But I'm not one to tell you absolutely not. That's not going to work in most occasions. Let me roll through here. Tim Carter says, let it know I finally received his stickers Tuesday. I sent a message. Didn't know if he's seen it. Awesome, Tim. Absolutely. Ed, he received. No, I'm just kidding. I'm glad he got those.
I think I sent a message today at 4 a.m.
Ed's good about that. He really is.
Or maybe I saw that it was 4 a.m, decided not to send it because it was too early. Well, I'm not going to check right now. I probably told myself, oh, I need to try to send them a reply.
So, and I do want to say, just because I saw something and it made me think of postage. Oh, the stickers made me think of postage. A special thanks to Patty. I don't see her in here tonight. She's probably lurking. She's in here all the time with us, and she's always catching the replays and leaving comments. She actually mailed me some prepaid postage to the P.O. Box to ship out more stickers to people to help cover the cost of doing that, since we do it for free. So thank you, Patty. I appreciate that. I'll make sure if I don't see in here tonight that I say thank you to you in person, if you will, when I do see it. But I really appreciate that. And I wanted to let everybody know because that was very cool of her to do that. It helps, I love to send everybody stickers, and I'm not complaining about doing it, but sometimes it adds up. You walk in there and you throw $20 on mailing stuff out. So her sending that prepaid postage was a godsend, and I appreciate it. Edgar Reyes says, change my substrate. Okay, just to make sure it wasn't a double. Oh, yeah, that was the one. So, Edgar, I would say in terms of cleaning the filter box and the tubes, if you're having impeller or flow issues, it's time to clean it out. Mine usually come about every 6 to 8 weeks, and that's when I'll kind of run a cleaner brush through the tubing and whatnot. Filter box, I usually don't clean that, so to speak, in terms of like scrubbing it. When I do clean it, a lot of times I'll dump some old aquarium water while I'm doing the water chains. I'll run the end of the python in there and get it a good rinse out. The big thing that I'm cleaning is the impeller housing and the impeller unit, and then the tubing going into that. That part, about 6 weeks or so, I find a lot of times it might be time to just give that a good check. Make sure you haven't gotten any plant matter or anything like that in there. But if you're not having issues with it, don't worry about it. Or if you're my buddy Ed, you just let that stuff go for 6 or 8 months and wait till I come over and I go, Ed, can I clean that? It should be flowing about 12 times more than that.
And I'll say, sure.
Yeah, sure. If you insist.
Complaints are for.
Right, absolutely. Absolutely. But yeah, if you're going, you're changing over from sand to gravel because you had issues with the sand being kicked up, I would probably pull it apart and give it one really good cleaning, and then not mess with it too much after that. Just get on a standard cleaning. But, it is possible you got some sand up in there if you're having issues, which I would assume is probably why you're asking about when to clean it. So yeah, make sure you get the impeller housing opened up if you can. Most times you can. Give that a real good rinse out, get the sand out of there, maybe take and jiggle that magnet that's usually on the spindle there, get all the sand out that you can, and everything should go good. Jenny Lynn, have a great night. You're probably already gone by now. Already asked and answered. Xanadu says, hey, are your snow cross endlers the same as LRB's or white cross endlers? So no, they are not. Now I do have white cross endlers. I got those from Tom Patterson. Shout out Tom. I hope you're doing well. And I believe those to be the same line as LRBs. I know he's in the same aquarium club, and a lot of people in that club have the LRB lines. But I actually have two different. I have the white cross and I have the snow cross. There's not a huge variation between the two. One thing I have found is the white cross line, like what I got from Tom, they seem to have a little bit longer tails, or a little bit bigger fork in the tails, specifically on the males. But no, that is a different one. My snow crosses are snow crosses that I got elsewhere. Heavy Hit is 2021. Says, I'm glad you're feeling better or feeling okay, James. Missed your streams. I appreciate that. And then again, I'm sorry to cancel on Saturday. I won't go real deep into that. But that's the first one I've ever canceled, and it's still kind of, I feel bad. So thank you all for being here. My apologies. Glad to have you all with us. Roll through here. Will convicts and fire mouse be okay with the blood parrot? They could be. Convicts are such mean fish, though. They can be. Let me rephrase. They can be such mean fish. In my experience, they typically are. I personally could see them beating the blood parrot up. There's some nasty blood parrots out there too.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Is there some
yeah.
blood parrots that have a lot more drag? They're half devil fish. Oh wait, what's the really wicked mean one?
The red devils.
Red devils. Yeah, they're part red devils. So.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah. I mean, you could try it. That seems like a mix of, it could be more of an African cichlid mix, if you get what I'm saying, in terms of the aggression issues. You might be able to delicately balance out the aggression, or you may get a whole group of nice fish. You know, I've seen it go either way.
Mm-hmm.
Lefty3213A says, my mom just got her package she ordered the week before Thanksgiving. Fish room fever. They are still slow as heck. Yeah, I've had some stuff that's come in and I'm like, what is that? I'm like, oh yeah, that was from weeks and weeks and weeks ago.
Bird Garden. The rack is here.
Hey, how is it going? So I've got an entire box. I am fully stocked. We'll do a little shameless promotion here. I am fully stocked on Bago Beach. If you all missed that live stream, go check it out. I think you'll enjoy it. You got fun in a bag and free shipping. I've got that on the website now. We've got that in stock. He sent me a whole bunch of those. The kids had fun carrying that box in because the kids love to bring the packages in, and that was a heavy box. We're going to talk more about that on another day. I've got something that I'm working on with that. Maybe a special guest that comes along with that. Maybe a couple special guests that come along with that. But I did want to mention, because we talked about it, at the time we did the video, I wasn't actually selling those, but it worked out to where now I am carrying those in my shop, fishroomfever.com. You can go on there and get them free shipping on that product. It's good to see you, Rack. It really is. It's good to see all of you guys. I missed you guys. I'm trying to get back in the swing of things. Paul says we're still getting Christmas cards. Yeah, it's been a little rough on the shipping. Sand Creek Aquatics to Amy says, happy birthday, Sand Creek Aquatics. Talking about Nathan. Happy birthday, Nathan, buddy. We miss you. I am glad that we were able to get his channel. I say we, that the whole community was able to get him over 1,000, kind of in remembrance of him. He's an awesome guy. Happy birthday, brother. Flymoto says, I added aragonite sand to aquarium full of American cichlids, and they don't seem to be doing well. Did I do something wrong? Not so much in that you specifically did that. I mean, it's potential. Anytime we make a change, there's a potential to disrupt things. And there are so many variables. I could probably spend 20 minutes talking about what may or may not have gone wrong. I think I was talking to somebody that's in here on Messenger, and they were having an issue and asked me about it, and I could not troubleshoot it to save my life. And then it turned out that like it was something weird, like the dog had flipped the switch on the power bar, so part of their equipment wasn't turned on. Like the CO2 had gotten knocked full blast by one of the cats. So it was this crazy thing that, like, you're not going to troubleshoot if you're not there. It's like, this is what's going on, and I'm like, well, this, and this are right. Have we checked this? And I don't know what to tell you, honestly. And then, come to find out it's something weird, like, hey, one of the animals hit the regulator on the CO2 and turned it full blast. So, I mean, it could have been anything from maybe there was something in that. If you didn't rinse it, I don't know. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. The source, there were a bunch of different things that potentially could have happened. Maybe you stirred up a bunch of nastiness when you added that in there. If you tried to like mix it in with the previous substrate or the prior substrate that was in there, I honestly don't know. I'm not going to sit here and go, oh my God, you did that. That's a bad idea. But is there potential that something bad happened when you did it? Yes. Did it happen specifically because you added sand? No. Radul Singh says, so my LFS owner texted me this afternoon with a horrifying incident. A couple walked in, bought pink convicts, then threw the bag on the ground since the convicts were poor colored. That's horrible. And I mean, people like that don't need to have fish anyway. So hopefully they just don't come back. As much as I love having new people in the hobby and keeping people in the hobby, we don't need people like that in the hobby. I mean, one, you shouldn't do that to the fish anyways. And two, you got to realize fish are going to get discolored when they're bagged and transported and all that anyhow. I mean, fish stress, they lose color a lot of times. That's how it works.
Yeah.
Don't chuck your fish on the floor.
They mature, when they're more sexual active, they'll be different colors. I dropped 2 of my smiling cichlids, a mated pair off at my local fish store, Aquatic Aesthetics. And they've never, they told me that they've been pretty occasionally, but every time I go in there, they're just camouflage, kind of like leaf color, but they get bright black and yellow and they're awesome. And if they would just be like that, he would sell them instantly. And I feel terrible that he's been feeding them all this time. But yeah, that's just crazy to kill fish because you don't think they're high enough quality. That's terrible.
Yeah. Aquatic Aesthetics is here. How's it going, Rob? Says as far as shipments, FedEx has always handled my fish well. And I've heard good things about FedEx in our area. Of course, he is Ed's local fish store down there in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I'm in Knoxville, Tennessee. And then I've heard people on the other side of the country say FedEx is horrible there. So again, going back to region, but that's good to know that you're having good luck with FedEx, Rob. A couple special shout outs I want to say, and these aren't super chats or anything. These are just people that I want to say a thank you to real quick before I forget about it. John Cox, he's in here every week, and we've got an awesome moderator team, but I don't even think John Cox is a moderator, but I constantly see him helping people, and people are specifically, adding him, and he's back and forth basically the whole time helping to answer questions. And I don't know that I ever specifically said thank you, John. So I want to say I appreciate that. I know the people you help appreciate that, along with the whole moderator team. You all do an amazing job. But I know I see John in here every week. He's an awesome guy, and I talk to him. And so thank you to him. And thank you to my LFS owner, Kenny at Aquatic Marine. He reached out to me. I see you are awesome. He reached out and he's just like, I just want to make sure you're live and you're okay and see if there's anything I can do. I've been in a funk lately, and we won't go into that. We're getting there. We're getting things kind of back on track, if you will. But I appreciate you, reaching out and giving me a call, sending me a text. And I know you come through and either lurk or rewatch the shows. So, Kenny, I appreciate you, brother, and everything you do from not just myself, but the community here. In town and also online. And same Rob at Aquatic Aesthetics. He's an awesome dude too. It's great to have fish keepers that get into the business side. And so then you've got actual hobbyists running pet stores, and then they're, social media aware, if you will, coming on YouTube and things like that. It's really awesome to see it branching out from the the old days of brick and mortar, grumpy old guy in the corner that knows it all and doesn't have time to tell you anything type of thing. But I appreciate both you guys.
Oh, for sure. Well, everybody should thank Kenny, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have this shirt.
Right?
You wouldn't want to see that. It's a good thing that I'm here with this shirt on. We'll just end it like that.
Right? Absolutely. Oh, moving on. I digress. The chat has jumped on me here. Fantastic Fish Friend says, Fisher and Fever, if I take the biomedia from the bottom of the 75s and the water, decorations, and filter media, how much of a mini cycle should I expect? So, if you're moving over substrate, decor, all of it, filter media, generally not much of one. Honestly, and there are probably going to be some people that want to crucify me for this, especially more on the scientific end of it, that are closely monitoring each and everything. Nothing against them. I wouldn't even worry about it personally. If I was moving all of that over, I wouldn't even have a second thought, assuming that you're keeping the stocking the same. Now, if you're drastically changing the stocking level, just keep in mind beneficial bacteria usually can double within a 24-hour period. Those are not the exact numbers. That's just a nice safe zone of me telling you. So if you're going to add a bunch of fish, add them, over increments and give that bacteria time to grow. But I wouldn't worry about it. Honestly, personally, if it was me and I was moving all of that, wouldn't even worry about the mini cycle.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
Crucify me if you will.
I generally don't ever put any fish in a new tank. Everything I have is always aged, because I'm a very patient person. So I always have a couple tanks sitting, but I start them always with stuff from other tanks.
Absolutely. So I'm going backwards now since the chat jumped. I'm rolling up, trying to catch what I can. I know we've only got about 12 minutes left. Then we're going to go to Ed's stream. He is going to do a giveaway, and we're going to have some fun over there. But I am a horrible person, and I regularly go over his time, so we're going to make sure not to do that tonight. But Flymoto, again, throwing out all sorts of good questions for us, says, what are the routine water parameters that you check? Temp and pH is all I do. Should I check hardness as well? What is the easiest way to accomplish good tests? So I'm breaking that into a couple questions. What do I check regularly? If you even want to call it checking, I would say I'm pretty much right there with you. Temperature is my big thing. I make sure everything is running at the proper temp. Of course, most of mine are heated by room and not by tank. So I have the large outdoor garden thermometers posted up throughout the different fish rooms, and I just kind of make sure that every room is running kind of in good standard, if you will. That's the biggest thing I check. I don't really check my pH much anymore. I don't have anything that I'm trying to specifically adjust parameters for, because I'm not chasing numbers and I'm not keeping anything specialty, quote unquote. My biggest one is just the temperature. And then I guess water flow, which that says weird, it's not a parameter, but I just make sure everything is flowing properly in the tanks. I don't really do a lot of testing anymore. I've done it long enough, and as a lot of people in here will attest to, once you get in the swing of things, you can look at a tank and you can kind of tell if things are off. Temperature, you really can't. And I'll take that back. There are some signs you can tell if fish are too hot or too cold when they start getting to extremes. But really, I just make sure my tanks are sitting at the right temperature, do my water changes on a regular basis, if you will, and that's even more for the plants, because the plants love it, and I go from there. And that's nothing against people that test parameters twice a week. I know some people that test before and after a water change. Nothing wrong with that. When you're getting in the flow, or the flow of it works, the swing of it, test and test away. Test until you understand how things work. Make sure you know the nitrogen cycle. That's a big one. If you have specialty fish that require certain things, if you need to test hardness, or you want to keep Caridina shrimp, but your water is really better for Neocaridinus, and you want to test to make sure things need to be where they're at for that. I don't have any setups like that right now, so I really don't test for it. In terms of easiest way to accomplish good tests, that's going to be consistency. What comes to mind with me is a lot of times I'll see people that, I mean, you get a variance. We're going to pretend this is a bottle of the dropper liquid that you would use for the API master test kits. You get a variance in drops if you go like this versus like this. So I'll see that, or maybe you don't get the consistency in the testing. So I would say just get familiar with it. Make sure that you're being consistent in your droppage, and you'll be good. And read the directions, please. I've had some people, and I don't mind to help, but I've had some people message me that didn't understand how the tests work just because they didn't read the directions. Maybe they put all the drops in at the same time instead of 8 drops, shake for 30 seconds, 8 drops, or whatnot. So just read the directions, follow the directions, be consistent, and I think you'll be okay.
I'm sorry, I had to leave for a second there.
That's fine. Get out of here. No, I'm just kidding.
I have 2 juvenile Fisher in my tank over here, my 40-gallon tank. They're ornate Fisher. They're super pretty. I'm growing them out so they can be with the big guy. But I've got 2 giant autosinkless in there. And one of them keeps trying to play with the 2 autosinkless. And they're not having it. So they just keep swimming away. But I decided to throw some food in there, and maybe that would distract them. So I feel sorry for the autos. I mean, the autos are about that big. They're 4 inches, but still the Fisher is about 5.5 to 6.
Absolutely. So Amy Sacred Aquatic says, I've asked some others, but wanted your opinion as well. I have an empty 3.5 gallon and 10-gallon tank, heavily planted. Suggestions for fish. 3.5 gallon. I'm going to say do a shrimp tank. I know that you've got some cherry shrimp. I would say branch out and try some of the other colors of shrimp, which I think you already have. I'm trying to remember. I try and remember everybody's tanks, but it's kind of hard to remember an entire community worth of tanks. But I feel
Priscilla
like
has some great shrimp.
Yeah, Priscilla has got some awesome shrimp. Swiss Aquatics. That's where I got my oranges. Ed got his yellows or blues.
I got Blue Dreams from her, and I got Green Jades.
Green Jades, there you go. So I would say try a new color because I know that you've been enjoying the shrimp. 10-gallon heavily planted. I don't know. I'm really liking tetras right now. I can't use Ember tetras because I already said that one. For some reason, like I walked by earlier and saw my Ember tetras in one of my tanks, and I'm just like in love with those at the moment. Like I'm looking at scapes, and that's what I'm seeing. Try and do something that's a little bit different versus the always seen tetras. And I know that your selection there is limited, and I don't want to spend 20 minutes on this just because I can talk to you on Messenger and we can talk about it. But I know your local fish store selection is somewhat limited there. So I would probably go to them and ask them if there are any interesting tetras that show up on their list that they could order that maybe normally they don't order because people don't buy them. And see what you get. The glow lights are cool. And I don't mean like the ones that are, colored. I mean the actual glow light tetras. But yeah, see what your fish store could maybe get that they're not ordering because people don't usually buy them. And go from there and shoot me a message and talk about it. Let's see if we can find you something cool. Bird Garden. Rack, I appreciate you, brother. Throwing a $20 super chat at us. Says, you are amazing with the big super sticker, rather. With the big confetti guy. I appreciate that. That dancey. It's a tap dancing pair with the hat. Da-da-da, da-da-da, da-da-da. Rack, thank you, brother. I appreciate it. I really, really do. Awesome friend. And I can't thank you enough for everything you've done for me and for this community. Always good to see you. Need to talk to you. It's been a little bit. I know it's my fault. Life happens.
We need to just go up and check out his pond.
We do. BJ Palmer's been on the entire stream and forgot to say hello. BJ Palmer, hello. I appreciate it. Always good to see you. I figured you're lurking. Awesome. Yeah, I need to talk to you at some point, Rack. Life happens to all of us, as I like to say, and it happened to me. So I'm getting caught up. Rico Stan with the $10 super chat, brother. I appreciate you. I need to get back to your email again. I know I responded to the one. But first off, Rico, thank you for everything you've done. Not just the $10 super chat, but just everything you've done. It means a lot to me. I can't wait to get with you soon. But it says, did you get all caught up on emails and messages? I'd like to send you an email about stuff we've talked about, but if you're still crazy busy, I can wait till next week. Also, how is Shy? She is still dealing with, of course, the torn Achilles tendon thing. She went to the doctor yesterday. They recommended some orthopedic people for her to go check out. Don't know if they're going to do surgery or whatnot. I won't digress too far into that because it's not fishy related, so to speak, and we don't want to totally kill everybody, bore them to death. But it's going to be a long process. It's going to be months and months and months from the looks of it, which is going to be fun. But if you want to hear more about that, go check out Science Gal Aquatic stream that I did with her this past week. We talked a lot more about life in general, if you will, and the behind-the-scenes things that fish keepers have to deal with when life beats up on you. And we talked a little bit about that and what's going on there. But yeah, I will get back to your email, Rico. I appreciate it. And at some point, definitely, we're going to make it happen. Make it happen, Captain.
You know, I might be in Knoxville on Saturday, James.
All right.
And I don't know if you'd want to do the live stream together that evening. But
possibly.
There's a place that I want to go. I can't find it now. I took a photo of it yesterday, and then I made a video today, and now I can't find it. Well, nope. It's Boyd's Jug and Jig, or Reel, Jig and Reel. It's an Irish pub.
Okay.
And I plan on going there, and I will buy you dinner if you want to go. But I want some Scottish eggs, and they have them.
Oh, nice. Very nice. I may take you up on that, Ed. And either way, whether I do it or not, I want to say thank you, and I appreciate that, buddy. I really do. Let's see here. Flamoto says, for hang-on back filters, how often should you change the media/cartridge? Oh, I'm going to say change the cartridge immediately and get some sponge in there. I get rid of that replacement cartridge, my personal opinion. Go check out Corey for hot rodding techniques on hang-on backs. Aquarium Co-op, that is. Other than that, I don't really have to change mine so often because I'm on sponge. So I clean it. I really depend on flow. I don't have a time frame that I say, oh, I have to clean this every 2 weeks. It depends upon how the tank is stocked. Therefore, how often it gets clogged. But I just make sure that I've got good flow. That is my big determining factor. When I look at a filter and it's not flowing, I know it's time to give that filter media, that sponge, a nice squeezing out and cleaning. Doing that in aquarium water that I'm siphoning from the tank during a water change, so I'm not killing off beneficial bacteria. And that's really my determining factor. I mean, we could say check it every 2 weeks is kind of a safety guideline. But really, I would say watch your flow. When you start to see flow being diminished, that's typically a good indicator. It's time to clean your filter media, Ed. Hint, hint. No.
I keep hard things in mind.
Yeah. Ed likes to fill his up with duckweed. He fills his pre-filter sponges with duckweed, and then they last longer because nothing else can get into them.
Actually, no, I do have one filter that I do need to fix. All of a sudden, I got a bunch of duckweed. Normally, I never duckweed in this tank. So I actually do have one that I do need to work on. That's bizarre. You knew that.
I know you well enough, buddy. Xanadu throwing another $2 out there. I know I've got some more of these things. I do for Xanadu. Says, love the fish fam a lot. Wink. Thank you for that, Xanadu. Love you too. I'm glad everything's doing well for you. And I appreciate the super chat. It's 11:30. It's about to be 11:31. I'm going to roll through here. Jeff Rose Fish Keeping asking, does Corpus Oskin live stream anymore? I honestly don't know.
I know he's on with Dr. Black on Tuesday nights at 11 o'clock. Or, I think 12 o'clock.
Oh, nice.
Central.
Very nice. Somebody in here probably will will definitely answer that better than I will. I've been missing out. But Jeff Rose, it's good to see you, and I appreciate you being here. Very cool of you. Glad to have you back, and definitely glad to see you hanging out in the chat. That's awesome. I can't thank you enough. That's one of those, hey, he's in my chat. That's pretty cool. So thank you for that. Real quick, just to clarify, because Moto was asking if I meant to scrap the hang-on backs and go just to sponges. No, what I mean is that you can buy sponge to replace filter cartridges. Usually you can get some sponge in there. If you go look at like you could search how to upgrade a hang-on back filter, hot rod hang-on back filter. Aquarium Co-op's got some great videos, as do several other people. Basically what you're doing is you're getting some sponge in there that can be cleaned every so often, however often need be, versus having to buy a replacement cartridge once a week. Flymoto, I didn't see your super chat, but I'm actually pulling up all the super chats right now just to make sure, because I know the screen jumped twice on me, and I'm pretty sure that there was some stuff in there I missed. So just in case, rolling through here, whether I did, whether I didn't, since you asked for one, there's that, and I appreciate you. Let me get this pulled up.
That's
again.
one of the night.
It was. That really, really was.
Normally, I have some of that filter next to me, but I cleaned the studio, and I don't know where it is now.
Yep. So I want to say a huge thank you to each and every one of you. I appreciate you being here. Appreciate you hanging out with us. The mods, the members, the lurkers, the listeners, the super chatters, the super stickerers. The replay crew, I appreciate you guys coming back through here and hitting that up. And just the people that are just hanging out and having a good time. I love you guys. We've got, in terms of the super sticker chatter people here, Tim Carter, Xanadu, Mike's Aquatics and Things, Fantastic Freaks, Furloughs Aquatics, Sand Creek Aquatics 2. That's not upgraded, or not upgraded, but that's not updated. I know there was after that, because it's not even showing Rack with Bird Garden. It's not showing Rico Stan. What are you doing to me, YouTube? Come on now. Ed, I've done it again. I've run 3 minutes over. Ed told me we weren't going to be friends. There we go. There we go. Look at that. See, there's a whole bunch of them that it completely jumped over. And this is why I always go back to this last minute. Picking up from Sand Creek Aquatics. Mike's Aquatics and Things did the customary $3 super sticker fist bump. We got the fist bump. I appreciate that, Mike's Aquatics and Things, very much. Fist bump to you, my friend. Bird Garden. We got that. Rack, thank you. I appreciate you once again. Rico Stan. Got you, buddy. John McKenzie. I did not see that one before. Thank you for dropping that pile of fertilizer on the stream with that $1 super sticker. That was a pretty good one. Pretty good. I'll take that. They get better. Kira Corridorable. I still love that name. Corridorable. With the $5 super chat says, when I keep fish, everyone says I'm an aquaholic, but when I drink Fanta, no one says I'm fantastic. I like that. That's a good one. Your wordplay. I'm really enjoying that. I think you're one of those people I could have some fun talking to, because there would be a lot of puns bouncing around. But thank you for the $5 super chat. Always good to see you, Kira. And that's a good one. I like that. I need to get Doug Gray to do that as one of his dad jokes on his. I digress. But Kira, thank you. Pepley Creek Aquatics also put that fertilizer pile on the stream with $1 super sticker. I appreciate the Peplin. I hope you're doing well. I haven't talked to you much recently. And again, probably my fault. But thank you for that. Hope all is well with you. Flymoto. There it is. Flymoto. Thank you. Appreciate it. Says, go get yourself another Tetra with a $3 super chat. Thank you, Fly. I appreciate you. I do. I'll take that up to Aquatic Marine. We'll get us another one there. Thanks again. And then I got Xanadu, and that's the last one showing on here. Make sure I didn't miss anything here. I'm sorry if I missed your questions. I tried to get everything that was highlighted. I know there's some stuff I missed, and I know we had a lot of duplicates that kind of spammed the chat and made it jump, so things got missed. Moderator team, I appreciate everything you all do to corral that stuff and just hanging out and kind of holding down the fort. Ed, of course, Can't thank you enough for everything, buddy. Appreciate you hanging out with me. I'm going to turn it over to you. We're going over to Ed's stream next. He's doing a giveaway. I don't even know how many people we've got in here tonight. I hadn't even looked at it thus far. We got 123 people watching, 122 thumbs ups. Thank you for that.
Awesome.
Come hang out on Chattanooga Ed's channel. I think you're going to have a blast. He's going to run the show more over there, and I'm going to shut up for a little bit. And we're going to do a giveaway. I'll turn it over to you, Ed. We'll get the link in the chat, and we will get on out of here.
Yep, guys, don't forget to get your hands wet. Keep those tanks clean.
And until next time, keep your fish healthy. Keep yourselves healthy. Catch yourself a little fish room fever. Take care, everybody.